So when you think of Yoshi games, you think of various ones. Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island is the best game of all time. Yoshi's Story is the weird successor to the Yoshi's Island game. Yoshi's Woolly World is a phenomenal game and should not be forgotten on Wii U. Yoshi's Craft World is the newest game in the series and not as good as the last one. And then there's Yoshi's New Island. Anyway, so I've been binging on my DS lately and stumbled upon my old copy of Yoshi's Island DS. So when I first played the DS game all those years ago, I never played the first one. Which made me start asking myself, why does this game not get talked about a lot compared to the other ones? Compared to the other titles. So this is what the video is about, to give Yoshi's Island DS a bit more attention.
And just for the heck of it.
Or Yoshi's Island 2. Honestly, I prefer the title Yoshi's Island 2. I wish they kept that. With a title like Yoshi's Island DS, you think of it like a remake like Super Mario 64 DS. But in reality, it's a brand new game. So Yoshi's Island DS is developed by a studio called Artoon. So Artoon was a studio that was founded in Japan by Naoto Oshigama. If you're familiar with that name, he was the co-creator of Sonic. Yes, the co-creator of Sonic has created a Yoshi's Island sequel. He actually helped make 3 Yoshi games. He also worked on Yoshi's Topsy-Turvy and Anyway, so we pop this game in, and you're introduced to an intro cutscene. So the prologue is basically a recap of the first Yoshi's Island game. And then, sometime later, Kamek and his toadies unleash their plan, which is stealing babies, again, including the Baby Mario brothers, again, and then they drop Baby Mario, again, and left with Baby Luigi, again. Oh yeah, and they also dropped Baby Peach, and the stork is painfully stuck to a propeller. Ouch. Okay, once the prologue is done, you're introduced to the title screen. If you wait about a minute, you'll hear this beautiful rendition of the theme song. So when you start the game, you have another cutscene where it's Yoshi stumbling upon Baby Mario and Baby Peach, where he stated that one of them looks familiar. This cements the fact that this is the same Yoshi clan from the last game. And so, Yoshi runs off to save Baby Luigi again. So if you're familiar with the last Yoshi game, it's exactly the same. You run, jump, lay eggs, throw eggs, everything's the same. Though the speed movement is a lot different in this game. In Yoshi's Island DS, the default speed is just a simple walk, but if you hold down the Y button, you'll start running. This is similar to something like a 2D Mario game where you hold down Y to run. Even the transformation returns and functions the exact same way. You have a helicopter, a mole, and a submarine. And basically you have to rush through these transformations to the goal before the timer runs out. So if you notice on the box, you can tell the main idea of this game. In Yoshi's Island DS, you're traveling more than just Baby Mario. In this game, you're not only traveling with Baby Mario, but with Baby Peach, Baby Donkey Kong, Baby Wario, and even Baby Bowser. And they all have their own gimmicks to them. If you're underneath a gust of wind with Baby Peach, you can fly in the air. With Baby Donkey Kong, you can climb around, swing on vines, and even charge. With Baby Wario, he can attract coins and these heavy metal boxes. And with Baby Bowser, he can spit out fire at the cost of Yoshi's eating ability. This is a really good idea. It brings out a new twist to the Yoshi's Island formula. Though, I feel like these are a bit situational. If you need a magnet, you get Wario. If you need a gust of air, you get Peach. I think my favorite has to be Baby Donkey Kong, because his swinging and climbing mechanics bring out a new depth to Yoshi's Island. There's also these weird sections where you're riding on something and then they're just completely forgotten later on. There are these various rides like this weird kangaroo, where he just jumps high and flies around. He's mostly used for bonus areas, hence the flying around. The next one, you're on stilts, and my god, this is slow. All you do is just push left very slowly, push a button, and try to get there very slowly. This is not fun or challenging, it's just boring. My god. The next one, we have the returning skis from the first one. Basically, you go down a long hill and make sure you can jump over the bottomless pits. I really like it, it's pretty fun, though just like the first one, it's only appeared in one stage. And last but not least, the rocket ship, where Yoshi is flying in space and praying to God he doesn't crash into something. Now, for the level design. The level design in this game is pretty good. Not as good as the first Yoshi game, but pretty good. But there's a lot of hiccups there and there. On the plus side of the level design, you have various great ideas in this game, like the baby mechanic and how it works in the levels. And a lot of times, levels can be pretty challenging, for better or for worse. I'll get to that later. And also, with some levels, it can be pretty puzzle-based. But when we hit the auto-scrollers in World 5, my god, you can see the cracks in this game. Oh god, we're going there. The scrolling speed is so slow, and if you die, you have to deal with it all over again. And also, for some reason, they have a real love for chain chomps in this world. Like, they are everywhere. Someone really must have loved chain chomps. And also, in Castle 4, there's this annoying section where these spikes can kill you instantly. And so, the developers thought it was a good idea to have a whole section where you're just throwing and destroying spikes. Like, this section's not hard, but it takes so long. It feels like this section was made out of Mario Maker or something. And you know the one, the guy who just puts spikes around to make their levels look harder.
Anyway.
Yeah, the level design may have a lot of highs, but it does have a bit of lows, and the lows are very, very apparent. There's also another thing about this game, is that there's a lot of cutscenes, especially at the end of the bosses. So in the cutscenes, it's revealed that Bowser, the adult Bowser, is behind this whole thing. His goal for this time is to collect Star Children to gain powers to control the universe. That is why Bowser is kidnapping so many babies around the world, including his past self. But after a small fallout, Bowser blasts his past self out the window and down a deep hole. Dude, Bowser. Did you watch any time-traveling movies? If Baby Bowser died, you would have been gone. Now, if there's one thing I can say about this game is, it looks pretty nice for a DS game. And for the sprite work for Yoshi, man, this is easily the best Yoshi sprite I've ever seen. And for some of the backgrounds, it looks pretty nice. Some that feel a bit more blander than others, but overall, it looks pretty good. But I feel like the trademark crayon art style that Yoshi's Island was famous for is somewhat gone here. So yeah, it looks pretty nice. The only few criticisms I have is some of the bosses, including Bowser. It looks like they just trace over a 3D model of him. And for some of the bosses' design, they look a bit too similar to previous bosses, especially the plant one. How you beat the boss is very different from the first game, but how it looks and feels is too similar. Giant piranha plant with vines all around. And that's what I can say about the bosses. They are just bizarre. But there's some that I like this ghost boss where it uses the bottom screen as a mirror to reflect the top screen. You can't see the ghost on the top screen, but you can see him on the bottom screen. And also, I should mention, this is the only time they use the two-screen function of the DS to anything unique, other than just another screen of the camera. I should also mention the music in this game. It's alright. The music in this game is mostly remixes of the main title of the game, which I noticed that it's a trend for a lot of Yoshi games. Okay, time for the final level. When you start the level, you see Baby Wario and Baby Bowser arguing. Yeah, I should have mentioned this earlier, but for Baby Wario and Baby Bowser, you can only play them in specific levels, unlike Baby Mario, Donkey Kong, and Peach. Because with Baby Wario, he asks Yoshi to let him behind so he can be with the treasure. And for Baby Bowser, he was literally grabbed by a Kamek and dropped down to a bottomless pit. And the response of Baby Bowser being vanished is, who cares? Man, this game has a sudden attitude. Oh, what the? Okay, so for the final level, you go through a rocket ship again, and you have different pathways for different babies. This is a nice callback to the door section in Yoshi's Island, where you have to choose a door randomly. But in this one, you can choose any door, and what that door you choose is worked around the baby you have. So you pass through the main level, and you get to the final boss. So later on in the castle, Baby Bowser decides to have enough with Yoshi, and thinks he's gonna steal his treasure. And so, you bash him a few times, and he goes down. He's pretty easy. And then Bowser shows up, enraged that he attacks his younger self, even though he did that earlier ago. And for the second boss fight, he's pretty easy. Just shoot him with eggs, dodge his fire attacks, and ground pound him. Once he's down, Kamek uses his trademark pixie dust, and Bowser goes big. And he's pretty easy as well. You just dodge clatter damage and throw eggs at him again. This is honestly a weaker version of the Yoshi's Island final boss. In that final boss, it felt like your dream had become a nightmare, where this monster rises up and covered in black charges at you. And that thumping music. Once Bowser's defeated, Kamek flies away with Bowser, and Baby Luigi is saved once again. And then this beautiful credit scene emerges, with everyone in peace. And at the end of the credits, it reveals that the Star Children were the babies we had all along. But something seems a bit off here. It said that there were 7. Oh my god, that's a baby Yoshi! And that was Yoshi's Island DS. And overall, it was a pretty good game. It's not gonna blow you away, but it's still a pretty good game for the DS. Though, honestly, even though I think this is a pretty good game, it wouldn't be the first Yoshi game I would recommend. One of the games is easily the first Yoshi's Island game because that game is just amazing. You can't top that game. And the second game would be Yoshi's Woolly World for Wii U. This game is honestly one of my favorite Yoshi games in a long time. And it's kind of a shame that it's still stuck on the Wii U. There is a 3DS port, but not a lot of people talk about it. So yeah, overall, a pretty good game, just not as good as the first one. It could have been as good as the first one if it improved some level design and fixed some of the flaws in certain mechanics. Anyway, so that'll do for today, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye!